They were never supposed to see me like that. The living room was dim, the air still, the only sound a soft baby breath rising and falling against my chest. My 4-month-old son had finally fallen asleep on me, skin to skin. I was on the couch, exhausted, bare-chested, surrounded by crumpled burp cloths and a bottle of gripe water. In that moment, I wasn't just resting. I was surviving, clinging to a rare, fleeting pocket of peace in the chaos of early motherhood. Then the door opened. Not a knock, not a ring, just the soft click of the spare key turning in the lock, followed by footsteps. Voices. My name, called out sharply. I jolted awake, my heart slammed against my ribs, and before I could even gather my thoughts or my shirt, I heard it. "Put a shirt on," yelled, not whispered, not a startled apology, just shouted across the living room like I'd committed a crime. And suddenly I was sitting upright, still groggy, my baby pressed to my chest and my boyfriend's parents standing in my home. Faces twisted in disgust. I blinked, confused, embarrassed, angry, but mostly I felt violated. I had no idea they were coming that early. They were supposed to arrive at 6 p.m. It was barely past 5. No text, no call. Just unannounced, barging in with a key they'd only ever been given for emergencies. But now I was the one being yelled at, scolded, shamed, and worse. My boyfriend wanted me to apologize. So here's the story. I gave birth 4 months ago. Since then, I've been breastfeeding around the clock. My son has acid reflux, so he spits up constantly. My shirts, always soaked. My bras, pointless. And honestly, the only thing that made sense was ditching the layers entirely. Skin-to-skin contact wasn't just easier, it was healing, comforting. A biological salve to both of us. At home, our home, I stopped wearing shirts. I kept a loose robe nearby in case someone knocked. But inside these walls, I was simply a mother trying to survive, trying to bond, trying to heal. And that day, that nap, it was the first proper sleep I'd gotten in weeks. My baby had curled up on my chest, his tiny hand wrapped around my finger, and I'd drifted off with him there, his breath warming my skin. It wasn't planned. It wasn't ideal. But it happened. And it was beautiful. Until they shattered it. They weren't supposed to come that early. That's not me being petty. That's the agreed time. 6 o'clock. I didn't ignore a knock. I wasn't being defiant or indecent. I was unconscious, with a newborn, who had finally stopped crying. They used the key, let themselves in, found me half naked, and yelled at me. Not even a pause, not even a, "Sorry, we didn't mean to intrude," just immediate judgment, immediate disgust. "Why didn't you put a shirt on if you knew we were coming today?" As if I'd spent my day waiting in seductive anticipation. As if I should have sat dressed and ready for them hours in advance. As if I wasn't already doing everything I could just to keep my baby fed, clean, and loved. I tried to explain. I reminded them they were early, that they let themselves in, that I had no idea they were even close. But it didn't matter. Their discomfort trumped my humanity. When my boyfriend got home, I thought he'd be furious. At them. I thought he'd stand up for me, say something, anything. But instead, he sighed. "Maybe you should just apologize," he said. "You know how they are. You made things awkward." Awkward. That word rang in my ears for hours. I made things awkward. I was topless in my own home, nursing our child, asleep after days of exhaustion, and they stormed in, unannounced an hour early, and had the audacity to scold me. And I was the one who needed to smooth it over? That night I sat on the bathroom floor, baby monitor in one hand, my tears in the other. I wanted to fight back. I wanted to scream. But instead, I stared at the wall and asked myself, is this really the kind of family I'm supposed to fit into? Are these really the people I'm meant to depend on? The next day, the tension lingered. No apology from them. No check-in. My boyfriend barely mentioned it again. He just looked at me like I was the source of the discomfort, like I was the one who created the mess. So I caved. I picked up the phone, called them, apologized. I told them I was sorry they saw what they did. Sorry they were caught off guard. Sorry if I made them uncomfortable. I said it through gritted teeth, through a lump in my throat. I apologized not because I believed I was wrong, but because I was tired. Tired of the silent treatment. Tired of the tension. Tired of being the only one who saw this for what it was. Afterward, I sat with my baby in my arms, his head against my chest, and I whispered an apology to him, too. Not for being topless, not for doing what I needed to do, but for not standing taller. I swore it would be the last time. Next time they come over, I'll have a shirt on. I'll be awake, alert, ready. Not because they deserve that consideration, but because I now know who I'm dealing with. I'll play their game, but only so I can take back my power on my own terms. So, am I the asshole? Or am I just a new mom who dared to believe that my home was still my own? This story is more than just a clash over bare skin. It's about boundaries, about how easily they're ignored when someone thinks they're entitled to your space or your body. It's about how motherhood strips you bare, not just physically but emotionally, and how, in your most vulnerable moments, you hope the people closest to you will protect you, not shame you. It's about how many women are expected to apologize for being inconvenient, for being tired, for breastfeeding, for needing rest, for taking up space, for not being dressed for someone else's comfort in a place that should be theirs alone. But mostly, it's about how deeply we crave respect, not just from strangers but from the people we share our homes, our families, and our lives with. So here's my question for you. If someone walks into your life, uninvited, unannounced, and makes you feel like you were the problem, do they deserve to hold the key? Let us know what you think in the comments. And if you've ever been made to feel small in your own space, this story is for you. This is AITA Stories. Thanks for listening.